Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm brought by Cold Brew Plays. This is a man here that's doing some content on this game as well, so I thought it'd be fun to have him come in. How are you doing today, Cold Brew?
Hey man, I'm doing great. We're both enjoying this game, and
Yeah.
I'm just loving that I have other people that I can talk about this brand new soft launch game that's getting our attention at least.
Yeah, it's been getting mine enough that the second channel has been putting out a lot of this, and I know a lot of people from Raid have been playing this too. And what we wanted to do today was talk about some of our favorite legendary heroes, like the legendary heroes you see behind us here. I have some favorites. Cold Brew has some favorites. We're going to go back and forth here and ask each other some of our favorites. And what I want to do off the bat is start up with, and I say up because it's the top of the list in my opinion, Lydia. I think Lydia is, in my opinion, my favorite. And it's not just because I've posed some dupes of her. It's because I think she has absolutely some of the most disgusting potential when completely maxed out. And I mean completely. You need the glyphs, you need the gear, which aren't done yet. And of course, you need the abilities, which these aren't done yet either. So don't look at those. But she will be disgusting. Have you seen her passive?
Soon. The passive is Doge, right? Doge. Yeah, grants 20% Doge plus a bonus 20%. So you get 60% if this character is below 50% health. So
Bingo.
good luck.
And there's no way to counter dodge, just so you know. There's no mechanic in the game that will make you hit somebody more with dodge.
Oh, man. I used your Lydia in one of the, I don't remember what, and I was like, she's great. She's
dodge is fantastic. So cool. The cool part about it is when she dodges, she doesn't just dodge. When she dodges, she hits with something that's as strong as her ultimate ability. Look at this, 200% damage. If it crits, which it's going to crit because you bill her with crit, it ignores 50% of the defense. What's her ultimate? Literally the same thing. So she hits with her ult constantly when she dodges 60% of the time. So she is going on my arena defense right next to Lightwing Zachary, which in and of himself, he probably deserves his own video, not just because he has the best WWE entrance in the game. But how about you? What's your top favorite legendary right off the bat?
I just want to say that in Endless Trials, you're going to have such a fun time with her because you can actually boost your dodge rate in Endless Trials.
Oh,
you can probably dodge everything after a point. There's certain artifacts that boost it by 15%.
Oh,
so if you get like 3 of them,
wow, you're right.
Like 2 of them, you can get 1, and still it's gonna be insane. You're gonna have 55% chance to dodge.
No, I love her. I think she's absolutely fantastic.
So one of my favorite legendaries, it's not I don't even have him maxed out yet. I've got this legendary. It's Zitlin. How do you pronounce that? Zitlin.
I think you got it.
He's in the dragon skill marsh
the curse
category
guy,
in there.
Right? He's the guy who does
the curse guy. So his cooldown, if you guys don't know about this hero, he applies a curse on any enemy, and then whatever damage you do, once that curse is over in 2 turns, which goes by fast, he does it again. It all depends on what kind of damage you can dish out with all your other heroes when you have this guy in there. It reminds me of warlocks in World of Warcraft for some reason. But this ability is so cool. I like this ability so much because if you have a way to reset his cooldown and he applies it again, he just does all that damage without the turns to finishing. So you can actually force the damage if he's last.
Oh, like explode it.
Force it and apply another one. And it's too much for the bosses. And it also makes the boss encounters basically a race. If you can get the boss to 50% in 2 turns, you basically beaten the boss. Even if you get him down by 30%, that's another 30% on top of that.
Wow, that's insane. And you could use Sierra or something to help execute him when he goes below 50% or whatever.
Exactly. And he works great for the guild boss. Like, the more you go into endgame, the better this guy's going to be because you're going to get more power. So he becomes stronger and stronger as you get stronger, which is great. He's got some defensive passives as well. He's got a way. His trade is okay, I guess. But I love the guy. Love the guy.
No, I mean, he seems pretty insane. Popping the bosses could be interesting. I love the fact that he's got like 2 heads on the back. You notice that? He's gotten 2 dwarves.
Yeah, cool.
Is that?
Dwarves? Oh, I just noticed right now that it's dwarves.
Yeah.
I
Seems
just
like he
noticed.
don't like dwarves, huh? All right. Well, he's a pretty good one. I'm going to show you mine now. I don't think the one I was going to show does as much damage as that guy, for instance, but it's actually kind of a weird pick. It's Blackhorn. And you might think that's a little bit of a weird one, but here's the thing with Blackhorn. You get him in the Magic Pass, okay? And there's something about his ultimate that is really nice, which is that it cleanses all negative effects. So you can get a cleanse at 5 turns on the ultimate, also heals. The ultimate's really, really impactful, in my personal opinion. And it's really hard to get consistent heal over times. And I think if you pair this with the totem plus the shield set where you slowly ramp your shields, like the more overhealing you do, the bigger shield you get, right? I could see something happening there, because you could also pair it with people like Bran, who does like a 5% shield on his passive too. You see what I'm saying? You slowly ramp up like these absolutely insane shields. I think that could be kind of crazy, but then he also does attack down on his basic, which for me is nice because it's not percentage. It's literally just attack down, and it's 2 turns. So if you're stuck with people like on the guild boss, having an attack down is pretty much mandatory. When he goes to do his giant AoE, you're going to just eat way too much damage. So I've been using him currently this week in the guild boss because of the attack down, the consistent healing from the totem, removing all negative effects doesn't really do as much, but then you get the heal and the heal over time. And the passive kind of helps keep him alive, but doesn't really matter that much, to be honest. So, and you don't really need his traits.
I like Blackhorn a ton because of all the healing that he gives. The cleanse can come clutch, and he's just great support. Great support. I haven't even tried to up his abilities yet, although I should, I think.
And the totem, when you up his abilities, goes from 10% to 15%. So it's actually 15% HP literally at the end of every round. You pair that with the heal over time. And if you also have, I think it's Gaia's Renewal, the summoner spell too, it's really hard to get KO'd because you're pretty much always at full health. All right, what's your next one?
Mine is Brand. I just found about this champion today.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you guys a small story about Bran, okay? I didn't know who the guy is and never played the beta so much to know about this champion and how good he is. But I played Arena today. I went into the arena, I saw this dwarf. I said, okay, he's going to be tanky, whatever. He's a dwarf. I killed everyone from the enemy team, and it was round 2. Arena fights can go 6 rounds, if you guys didn't know that. This guy not only survived 6 rounds, we passed the 6-round mark. And what happens after you pass the 6 rounds is that you get lightning strikes on your team, not the enemy team, the offensive team. So me, the player, against the computer, I guess, that set the defense. I was trying with 4 heroes to beat 1 Bran. And I have a good account. It's all level 60s. I have Zutlux, I have Hydresia, I have Valeria. Everybody was trying to kill Bran. He wasn't going down. And I would get lightning strikes on my heroes, and I just died. This guy is tanky as
You got
hell.
fatigue.
I don't know how he is so tanky. I was looking at his kit, and I was like, how? Just this thing? 50% defense. I just couldn't take him down. I have a defense down with Valeria. Just he wasn't going down.
The shield every turn, man. 5% of his max HP, the all team members for 1 turn is kind of nuts. But dude, he also attacks down. So it's like,
yeah,
kind of hard.
It's kind of insane. And I think he's in the top of some of the older tier lists in
He's
terms
pretty
of
good too.
how good he is.
I mean, look at he removes negative effects, obviously good, and then once you ability him, which you should, it's going to give attack up 2 and defense up 2, which is like insane. It's on the same hero, just right there, and it's only on a 4-turn cooldown, which is way better because a lot of these guys have 5-turn cooldowns on these type of things. And then the counterattack literally just happens like for free. Obviously, it's a chance, but if you look at the counter chance, look at here. The effect application chance goes up. It goes up to 80%, I think it is, correct? Yeah, 80%, and then it's a 100% chance to counterattack. So you get 50% damage, 80% for the attack, and this happens to literally anyone that hits any of your dudes. So that's pretty crazy. And then the thing that we haven't even talked about yet is he gets a taunt on his basic, just straight up.
I think he will enable more defensive setups in arena, so it's not all about having win streaks. And we're gonna see more and more teams coming in with these kind of setups, and that's what I see as a future for this kind of game, because it's not all about raid. We had speed, and if you go first, pretty much it's over. Here, if you have a pretty good defensive team, it doesn't really matter if you're fast. You'll eventually get your turn. Unless everybody dies, you'll get your turn if you're defensively built. If you've got a good team built with defensive champions like Brand, then you might get the win without having to care too much about speed.
I think it's a good point. And I think he kind of needs his Ascension, but luckily it's only Ascension 2, and that doubles his shield. I mean, you don't have to have it. It doesn't make his other stuff better, but 10%, I think, of his max HP is why I like it, because it's not everyone's. It's like you can stack him with max HP, then everyone else gets a shield, relevant to that. So that's a pretty good pick, to be honest. I have him. I've been using him. Obviously, he's level 60 here. Now, I wanted to say Lightwing Zachary, even though he's an epic, not a legendary, but I'm going to have to save that for a different video. I think the one I actually want to go here is Sierra for this one, okay? And Sierra, the reason is it's really hard not to like this passive. It can happen out of turn. So what this does is when the enemy goes below half their HP, she gets angry and hits everyone on the enemy team with this amount of damage. And I say this amount because it scales as you would level the ability up to 110%, I think is what it is, or 100%, I should say. I think it's 70 to start. But you can also reduce the ability. It happens every two rounds, right? Instead of, I think they miss ability. It says it was every 3 rounds, but it's not reduced by turn. It's reduced by rounds. That's why I'm stuttering here, because I think this is a typo in their text, because it is per round.
Typo doesn't make sense.
So because of that, you can effectively nuke Ash Magistrate pretty decently if you're having trouble with like the little guys, because on that dungeon, and it's one of the more important dungeons to do because you have to get speed gear. In that dungeon, you have to kill all the little guys or else he gets really, really strong. And so if you do half the damage, she's then going to trigger the AoE. She's also good, in my opinion, in going first wave clearing type of teams, where it's effectively what you're doing is you're fast enough in the campaign where you're going first, and you're also you're hitting an AoE on all the enemies, and then she mops up and cleans everybody every wave, is what I've noticed as well.
Right. Yeah, I love that. Using other people's Sierras, because I don't have her. So I kind of have to use her through others when I wanted to climb through the adventure mode. So that's what I did. And yeah, she's great. And she's also available to everyone eventually.
Yep, you can
through those quests.
Or fusion. It's an actual straight up quest you can do. That's right.
It's quest. It's more difficult one, but it's obviously because she's a legendary. The Void Tower. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but
it'll take a bit. I think we're gonna need glyphs and all that, and complete all balloting stages. But it's a free legendary, and like you're saying, it's free. And then on top of it, in the altar, if you look here, that's like the arbiter of this game, I would assume. And then the hero synthesis, we have 3 more legendaries we can get as well. And
it's good that we have so many things in it.
Yeah.
Right from the start. Nice.
You can also make epics too, which is pretty good in there too. And there's some pretty good epics.
Yeah, and I think the epics you can make as many times as you want.
I thought legendaries you can as well, from what I've heard. I don't know if they fixed that, but it used to be you could make as many as you want. So you could effectively max ascend people like your Tia, for instance, who's very good. I was going to say there's one more honorable mention I want to mention here, which is Hector real quick. And Hector, if you look at Hector, the way he works is really cool, which is, and on Sierra, we didn't talk about some of her other moves. I talked about the whole reason I like her, but her basic attack increases damage taken. She gets stacks of attack every time enemies die, and then you pop them for huge damage. So she actually does really good single target damage as well. But Hector does the same thing with this, where he throws an axe, increases damage taken, but it's for 2 turns, okay? And max stacks 2 stacks. So you can actually stack this as compared to Sierra, one turn, 1 stack. So then moving on here, the basic attack applies himself damage up, then deals damage to an enemy, so he gets bonus damage too. Then the passive is literally just straight bonus damage. So you can see what this is. It's all about damage, 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 damage. You look at the ultimate, however, if he has his axes out, he recalls as many of the axes as he's thrown. So if he's thrown 1 and only has 1 axe in his hand, he gets 1 bonus turn. But if he has both axes he's thrown, he gets 2 bonus turns. So obviously you stack the 2 axes, you jump in, then you get 3 turns in a row. But when you have the ability cooldown done, then it lowers it to 4. So basically you go 1, 2, 3. It's 1 cooldown, so you have to punch 1 time. But if you give him a bonus turn with people like Mary, he literally psychos and he can go again. Right. So you can get 7 turns in a row, which is just hilarious.
It's insane. It's insane damage potential out of this guy, for sure.
So what you got for me? What's your next one? I think you got the final one, my friend, here to wrap it up.
Yeah, the final one. Let me find the one I had in mind. Okay, here he is.
Here he is. We did.
Urion, and it's right next to Lydia. He is a Holy Light Empire hero. I don't know if you've played with this guy before, but the developers of this game definitely used to play League of Legends, right? We've mentioned it before.
This isn't Ezreal. I don't know what you're talking about.
Have you seen his ultimate in action? That's a Lux ultimate.
Yeah.
It's a Lux ultimate. It just beams through everybody, and it does a lot of damage. It does a ton of damage. This ultimate. If you, I've used him only in the endless trials, so I don't know what kind of gear those recruitment heroes have, but he does a ton of damage to this. It ignores defense. It looks cool. It's just amazing damage potential coming out of that.
It's Lydia's ult, only less damage, and it goes on everyone though. That's crazy. It's an AoE.
Yeah, he's got a stun on his second skill, which is pretty good for controlling people.
Oh, yeah, Garen. Okay, so it's a 50% chance, but then you also get immune. Okay, and it's only on a 3 turn. And then the basic, oh, wow, 100% damage to an enemy, 50% chance to steal a positive effect. If he has a positive effect when it ends, then he gets attack. Wow.
Yeah, I like this kid so much when I played with this guy. Obviously, there's so many legendaries that we still haven't tested. And the only way to test them right now is honestly through the endless trials. You try to recruit, you see a cool legendary, you play around with it, or a friend has it, you can test them out. So an honorable mention for just the ultimate, cutscene is Corrupt Aurak.
Oh my God!
That guy from the Chrysa's faction.
Where he like grabs you.
Yeah, where you're sleeping or you're passed out and he's like over you and he just bam executes you. It's so dark. I love it.
It's good.
I just love that ultimate. He looks so good too. So and his kit is great overall as a tanky character. He adds up to what Brand is. So if you've got the two together, you can possibly do like a solid tanky team. He's got like true damage based on his max health. So you built him more tanky than others. Wow. You don't care about his speed.
You could pair him with that dwarf that's you can get through the synthesis that increases everyone on your team's max HP over time too. He slowly scales everyone's max HP. That could be crazy.
Yeah. This guy is pretty solid, and he the damage that he does can be significant. So I like this guy too. I want all the legendaries, just to play around with them. But
yeah, well, good luck. We got to hit that 0.1%. So, all right, Cold Brew, tell them where they can sub to you to watch more Awaken Chaos content.
So my Awaken Chaos channel is called Cold Brew Plays. If I change it in the future, I don't know, but that's what it's called right now. I do content as much as I can. For this game, I play it every single day like you guys do. So definitely enjoying it. I want to see more coming in with the global launch for sure.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Go check them out and subscribe and like on this video if you appreciate the conversation, and we'll see you on the next one.